Hello everyone, this is Luke from Be Successful, your favorite development channel. In today's video, we will talk about motivation and how we can manage to stay motivated in everyday life. Motivation is the fuel that powers our daily activities, but we don't always feel that we are sufficiently determined to start a new activity or do something beneficial for us, especially after a busy and stressful period that makes us feel our reserves of motivation are drained. To be effective, motivation has to be intrinsic and come from within. A person's motivation can be inspired by external forces or by themselves. Mastering motivation to enable sustained practice and results is essential for. Personally, I love reading biographies of people like Napoleon, one of the world's top 3 strategists, who, although considered a tyrant by his enemies, went down in history for his military campaigns, studied today at military academies around the world. Steve Jobs, who taught me to believe in my own madness. Andrew Carnegie, one of the world's best negotiators and the man who inspired Napoleon Hill to write the world bestseller, From Idea to Money. I'll be back with a detailed post on this topic. It is essential to constantly feed your brain with positive information, with other people's successes, because then you will start to believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Alternatively, instead of biographies, you can read books or listen to personal development programs that have the same purpose, which is to help you increase your self-confidence, maintain a high level of motivation and optimism, and last but not least, give you tips and methods to achieve your goals more easily. Most of the time when we talk about motivation, we think about professional motivation. Successful people who own or run impressive businesses are motivated people. I personally have never met and heard of a successful person who lacks motivation, at least not in the long term. Certainly, all people have times when they feel unmotivated, but successful people have learned the skill of motivation. Develop the motivation you need, set goals, and make plans. Set out exactly where you want to go in your career. No one will come along and push you from behind. You know best what your target is. Successful people train their minds so that failure becomes a motivating factor. Imagine that everything you set out to do is going smoothly. You're on schedule, your organization is running smoothly, you have no challenges, everything is running smoothly. The moment a situation arises that could foreshadow failure, you automatically become more alert, more committed, more determined to get the job done. All your focus is on the success of the project. And perhaps that's where the joy and excitement of a job well done comes from. From the fact that it wasn't easy, from the fact that it was challenging, from the fact that you had moments of despair, from the fact that you had to act quickly and in the moment and find unexpected solutions. It is the possibility of failure that drives you to get better and better at what you do, that keeps you focused on what you set out to do and looking for innovative solutions to break the deadlock. Use failure to your advantage. Let it be your teacher. Learn from it and move forward. Make failure your motivation to move forward and prove that you can. We often put this responsibility on others, on parents, friends, partners, bosses, often in the form of an accusation. They are to blame. But the responsibility is 100% ours. We are solely responsible for the level of motivation we have. And it's not easy to be motivated. Being motivated means knowing yourself, knowing what you like, knowing what you want, setting yourself time-bound goals. It's not easy, but the alternative is disastrous. Being bored, not knowing what you want, not having goals. Find out what motivates you and turn your motivations into fuel for success. People are motivated by many things, not just money, but honor, curiosity, failure, competition, the desire to be better, the joy of the game. People are motivated by their mentors, their parents, their teachers, their children, just as we are motivated by frustration, injustice, suffering. Let's find our motivation. Let it be our guide and take examples of children who are motivated by play become creative, involved, joyful. What motivates you? Until next time, take care of your money and subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this.